Hi, welcome to Bradley Teaches. This is Bradley, and today we're going to talk about dynamic bars and boxes, a new way to present your information in bullet points. So stay tuned, we got some good stuff ahead. We are going to do some dynamic bars and stuff like that. Now, this idea, maybe I even described it wrong, I don't know, but you'll see in a second. A friend of mine was doing a live, and near the end of it, because I jumped in and I was kind of talking with him as he was going through his live, and he's like, man, it would be great if I had some kind of slide-in thing that would pop up from the top with a number or something in it to let people know, hey, this is my first point. And then a bar will slide up from the bottom that has the number again with the point in it. So, as I always say when people give me a challenge, hold my lemonade. Let me try that. And here's what I came up with. So this is what I'm going to teach you guys how to do today. And if you have some add-ons you would like to do, we'll just do those as part of the tutorial process. But here's the demo. So hey, today my first point is blah, 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 blah. But if that's not cool enough, I'm going to tell you all about my second point. And my second point is, so this is what I'm going to teach you all how to do today. The first one is not, well, they're both a little complicated. But this is what I call my dynamic bar and side announcement. So this is a great way to transition between points without the big screen cover up type thing that some people do, or I even taught you all how to do before. So this is another way to alert folks that something's about to change and something is coming. So let's watch it one more time, and then we're going to jump into actually creating it. So a point one alert, and then a point one point with the content for it. So that's the first one I'm gonna teach you today with a straight line. The second one I'm gonna teach you has a little more complicated design and movement, but I'm gonna show you how to do both of those really quick. All right, so let's do it, y'all. Let's jump into Keynote and get started. So here we are in Keynote. We're gonna start off with the basic white presentation as always. Select all and delete. So what we're going to do here first is we're going to build the elements that are needed to make all the animations go right. So first, let's go to shape, pick a square, and let's color it. It can be any color, but I'm going to use my bright blues for this. You basically want to make a rectangular shape. Right, so that's the first shape, and maybe a good thing to do is to reduce this down to 50% for now. So I have my rectangle. And now let's make the bottom rectangle just to build it and get it done. So here's the bottom rectangle. So this will have the text of your point in it. And these are all kind of just preference calls for size, but I'm going to show you guys some other parts of it. So here are the main two elements. And so now let's do our text. We're going to need two text boxes. So the first text will be the number. And I just use number 1 here. And I like Helvetica and other sans serif fonts. I'm going to use Impact. I'm going to make this 250. But I'm going to select the number sign and make it 150. Here's a little tip that most people don't know that's in Keynote as far as alignment of text. Highlight that number sign. Then you want to go to over here where it has character styles. You want to look for the little gear and pull down the gear, and you want to change the baseline shift. And you want to put in a positive number or just kind of scroll it up. And all this does, baseline shift basically means the bottom line is the baseline, and you're going to shift it, the character, up or down based on that. So that's how I did my number 1, right? All right, here's the text for the bottom bar. So just type in that 1 again, point number 1, my first point. Let's call it my first point. My first point. And what's great about this is once you get these designs done, these are templates for whatever points you have of whatever you want this thing to do. Remember, because it's Keynote and it's fully editable when you get done, right? Until you make the video portion of it. So we're going to put this down here. We'll make it white. I'll make this Futura. And let's go medium Futura. And let's kick this up to 150. That might be too big, but let's see. That's kind of big. But for the purposes of this, we'll just work it. I'll make it a hair smaller, but. So that's your point that goes with the sidebar, right? And that's essentially all the text for this design. So you have your bar that's going to slide in, you have your bottom bar that's going to slide in, and you have your text. Now, for that colored line that you see, we're going to have to copy this bar and do it again, but I want to put the angle in first. So now we're going to drag our rectangle to the side, and we're going to go to Format, Arrange, and we're going to change the rotation. I found that a rotation of, I think I did 319 or 315.9, put me in a good position. So I want to make the rotation angle 315.9, right? And now you can make your rectangle bigger to make it fit in the corner better. And let's put our 1 inside of it to make sure the 1's not too big, right? Now, based on this, my little corner is too small. So I'm going to make my corner bigger and longer. So that's what we want. So these are all the dynamic pieces ready to go. Now what we need to do is we need to copy this rectangle and paste it 3 more times to get our colored line that goes up the side. So we're going to click the box, copy, paste. Let's move this over to the middle and make it smaller or skinnier. Then we go to Format, Style, make it any color other than the color it is. Now we're going to copy this bar and paste it 2 more times. Copy, paste, paste. And make these other two other colors. So I'll make one orange, make one red. So now you literally have all the elements for that design. This might need to be a little bit longer. All right, so now we're going to make the number 1 a different color. I'll make it white so it'll be easier to see. And I'm going to select the number 1 and the angled box and group them. So I'll just drag across both of them to select them and click my group button. And remember, I make a lot of reference to this, but it's a point that needs to be referred to a lot. Please, please, please go back and watch my video about how to set up your Keynote so it's more conducive to making animations. Because you want to be able to use these little buttons and things and get to them quicker versus trying to go in the drop-down menu. So select those 2 items, group them. Now go down here to this box with your first point in it, drag across both of those to select them. Let's group those, right? Now what you want to do, it doesn't matter what order these colored lines are in. That's kind of up to you as far as animation is concerned. But you can show your object list. Now let's drag those over and line them up with the side of the box. You may have to stretch them out a little bit too. So we're lining all of them up with the side edge of the box. So let's get that done real quick. And you can stretch them out to be a little bit better. So now you have your angled box. You have your basically animated lines, and you'll see how they animate in a second. Then you have your pop-up box at the bottom. So these are all of your elements. So now all we need to do is animate them, right? So let's get into animating them. So let's click on the rectangular box on the side, and we're going to go to Animate, Action. Hey, Miss Felicia. So Animate Action, and we're going to do a move. You know what? I forgot about that. Get the box and move it off the screen as straight as you can. If you can't, it's okay, but just try to keep it as straight as you can to make the animation kind of still line up with those side boxes. So grab it, right? Grab that grouped thing, and you want to drag it off the slide, but have it kind of line up with the edges of those other three boxes, right? So off the screen. Now, if your slide is still too big, go over here to zoom and just pick another percentage that makes it viewable on your screen. But you want to drag that rectangular box off the slide, but that bottom edge still lined up with the colored bars we made, right? So now we still have it selected. We're going to go to Action, Animate Action, add an effect, Move. Now what's going to happen, it's going to try to move the box to the right. But as you see here, you should see that little plus sign, which is hard to see. Let me zoom out a little more. All right. So you know that the animation is actually there. So zoom out some more so you can see it. Now you want to grab that center line and move the box to its final resting place. And as you see, it's kind of onion skinned, right? So you can see everything through it. So you want to use that box and use the other little boxes that's going to be on the edge to line it up, right? So there you are. So now the blue box will move diagonally into place. Now we basically start doing all the build ends of the colored lines, and we'll be good to go. All right, so the first thing is box slides in. So now we can actually open up our build order just to see the pieces. And we'll put this over here next to that. So now we're going to build the other parts of the animation. All right, so we can click off of that now, and it looks like it disappears, but it's fine. So now we're going to build our color bars in backwards. So look at your object list and start from the bottom rectangle. Click on the bottom one. Then we're going to go to Animate, Build In. We're going to do a wipe on that, right? But we're going to build our wipe from the bottom left because we want it to build in like at an angle, right? So we're going to build it in from the bottom right. Let's go to the next one up in line. So we got the gold one now. We're going to put a build in on that one, wipe from bottom left. Then finally the red one, in my case the red one, the one on top. Animate, build in, wipe from bottom left. All right? So bar builds in, colors build across. So now let's get those timings built in, right? So the first thing is fine. Don't have to worry about that because this is going to be a video. It's going to auto play. But we're going to make the speed 0.8 so it can move in a little bit quicker. So that's done. So rectangle, first rectangle, let's drag it up into the first thing. So it'll be after 1, no delay, speed 0.6. The next one, slide it up. So now it's going to be rectangle. After 2, .6 speed. The next one, drag it up. 0.6 speed. After 3, no delay. So now let's play that out real quick so we'll see it. Bar comes in, colors go across. Let's watch it one more time. Bar comes in, colors go across. So that's the first part of the animation now done, right? But now we need to make the bars disappear, the big bar slide out, bottom bar slide up. So now let's knock that out. So now we only want to animate, or we want to make disappear instead, the second one and the bottom bar. So let's click on the middle one. Go over here to object list, click on the middle one. And we're going to go now to build out. And we're just going to call that disappear. No big deal. All right. Go to the bottom one. Build out. Make sure it says build out. Disappear. Now we're going to have the top one. We're going to have it actually wipe out. So click the top one, go to build out, add an effect, wipe. And we're going to have it wipe out from bottom left. All right, so now let's check the speeds and get it going. All right, so disappear, disappear. So the first disappear, we're going to drag it up into 4, and after build 4 is fine. Number 6, we're going to drag it up into 5, but we want to make sure that this one disappears with number 5. So once we drag it up, we're going to go down here to start and say with number 5. Then finally, we're going to have the red one wipe out, right? So we drag it up to number 6, but it's going to be after number 6, and we're going to have it wipe out in half a second. All right. So now let's play this real quick. Wipe in, color, color, color. Color wipes out. Now we're in the home stretch now. A lot easier than we thought, huh? All right, so all we're going to do now is now animate out the bar and animate up the other bar. Let it sit for 4 or 5 seconds, then animate out. Then it's done. All right, so we're going to go back up here and we're going to click on the first box, the grouped box with the number in it. So we're going to click on it in our build order list. And it's going to open up the action that we put on it. All right, so if once you click it, I'll click off of it again. So once you click it, you'll see here it jumps directly to animate and the action that that's doing. So now you want to click on add an action. And we're going to move again. Right? And it puts it out of place. That's no big deal. So now we'll click that top one, the new one we made, and we're going to drag that line because it made the line over here, right? Oh, there we go. It made this line over here because it slid it to the right. We want to grab that line and drag it back out where it came from, right? So we made a move, and moves automatically move stuff to the right. I don't know why it does that, but it moved it to the right. We want to drag that line back up to its original out position, right? So now we're going to click that top box again, and move it all the way to the bottom. And something happened because now we have a double move out. Let's see this real quick. Yep. It made the wrong thing move. That's the one that moved out. Okay, we'll fix that. All right, so once it moves out, we move it back, move it up, and that's the second move, right? Because it's highlighted. We're going to grab that one and move it out and put the top one back on. There we go. So did you follow me with that? So when you made the second move, it replaced the other move. So just make sure the one that's highlighted with that second move, you move it to the bottom. So let's watch it to make sure it does it. See, we're still moving like we're supposed to. All the colors come out. All right. So now here's that new move that starts in and goes out. Then what we're going to do is now we're getting down to that bottom bar. So now the bottom bar, it needs to move in. So let's click that bottom bar and actually slide it off the screen, because that should be its starting position, right? So now we still have it clicked. We're going to go to Action, Move, and it's going to try to move it to the right. Don't worry about that. Grab that box, see here, and drag it up on the screen to its final resting place. So now you've moved that box. Now, while that's still selected, we're going to click Add an Action. And we're going to add another move. It's going to try to move it to the right again, like it always does. But now we're going to click that one and move it back off the screen, right? So now that bottom box moves off the screen, onto the screen, and onto the screen, off the screen. That's all that bottom box is going to do. So now we have the first move, which is the box moving off. We're going to drag it up into that rectangle above it and make sure it says after build number 7. And let's put a little delay on that because we don't want it to move out before that red color disappears. So we're going to put a delay on that of 0.7. Now this is the bottom group. We're going to drag it up and we're going to move it with number 8. Because what we want it to do is move out and move in at the same time, right? No delay. Then that final one, we're going to drag it up and we're going to have it after number 9, but we're going to put on it a 4-second delay or 3 seconds. It can be whatever you want. It depends on how long you want that in the bottom of the screen to be readable. So let's play through the whole animation. All right, so that's how it works. And we'll play it one more time. Let's watch it one more time. Bar slides in, colors go across, slides out, point slides up, and then the point disappears, right? So now you have that first animation, all right? So hopefully this is working out for you. Hopefully it's not too complicated, and hopefully it's kind of sticking with you. Now the next one has fewer moves, but it's a little more complicated. It's not a straight slide in, it's actually a arcing move in. And what I'm doing is I want to show you things that you can use for other stuff, right? So this is the first look, first design, slide in bar, slide in, slide out with a little color on the edge, right? So click the slide, nothing else is clicked but the slide. Format, color fill, no fill. We're going to file, export to movie. 0, 0. Custom size 1920. And Apple ProRes 4444. All right, so now let's go back to, so here's the one we just made. Let's jump back into Keynote. And what we're going to do, yeah, let's make another brand new slide. Let's make a brand new slide. Add a slide. All right, so we're going to leave it small on the screen. Now this one is a little bit more complicated design, and it has, remember that chasing light design that I did? It actually incorporates that into this design, and I'll redo that chasing light design quickly to add to this. But this one is pretty cool too, and it was something that I think can be multi-purpose. So this time, as you will notice, it's going to be a circular corner, but it's actually going to come in on an arc, right? So let's select everything, delete it. So what we want to do here is first, we're going to build the chasing light edge pretty quickly, right? So let's go to Shape, Circle, and we're going to hold down Option Shift to drag it out. And let's just make it a color. And this is kind of a quick redo for y'all to learn how to do that chasing light design. So let's do another Shape, Circle, which is in the middle of the last circle. If you hold down Option Shift, you'll be drawing it out from the middle, or roughly from the middle. Don't look like it's lining up, but it'll snap to the middle once you move it. All right, so these are my two circles. I'm gonna select both circles, go to go to Format, Shapes and Lines, Subtract Shapes. So now we have an edge, right? We're gonna color fill that edge with a gradient. So in this case, I'm gonna leave that light blue and let's do yellow. So light blue and yellow, right? So how I made that, Shape, Circle, Shape, Circle. One is a little bit smaller than the other. I selected both of them, went to Format, Shapes and Lines, Subtract Shapes. So now we have a shape that looks like a line, right? And as you can see here, as I drag it out, you see the line is empty, right? But it's literally a shape. It's a circle with a hole cut out to look like a line, all right? So now we have kind of our first piece, right? So let's say, just for grins, let's say that our circular shape will be about this big. And let's make it smaller. That's too big. Option Shift, make it smaller. Okay, so our circular shape is about that big. Okay, we're good. All right, so now let's do another shape. That's another circle, which is the inside of this circle. So let's make it Option Shift. We want it to be, maybe putting it behind it might make it easier. All right. We want it to be a little bit smaller than this edge. Just a little bit smaller. All right. So the edge is on the outside of it, right? So we have our two shapes. And we can bring the circle back later. Let's drag it out of the way. We don't need it for now. So now let's place, now here's what makes it a little bit more complicated, but I really have to do it this way for it to work properly. So hang with me. This is going to be a little complicated, but hang with me. Let's increase the size of our slide a little bit. That might be too big. Now let's go back. All right. All right, so now we need a placeholder circle for the real circle. So just hang with me. It sounds a little complicated, but hang with me. I'm going to make a color this blue, just to color it blue for now. We're going to copy and paste. So the first circle is our placeholder circle, right? This is where we want our circle to be. This is where we want it to wind up at, right? This is where we want it to wind up at. Now what I need you to do is turn on your ruler, which is Command R. Okay, you can also go to View, Show Rulers. Now it'll say Hide Rulers because my ruler is on. But View, Show Ruler, Hide Ruler, right? Now you want to drag a ruler out, ruler line, to the center of your circle. So this is your guide circle. That's where you want your circle to end up, right? Now we're going to take our second circle and put it off the screen. You can line it up to that line, but you don't have to. That's kind of up to you, right? Now here's the crazy part. I need y'all to hang with me. You really got to hang with me. All right. You can now delete that first guide circle. You don't need it anymore. So now what I need you to do is to go to Shape and click this top right-hand corner. That's to draw a line. You're going to draw a line now. So you want to go to Shape and click the pen tool, right? So now with that pen tool, you want to click somewhere near the center of that circle. Doesn't have to be exact, but just somewhere near it. Now, click where the crosshairs meet for the center of your guide circle. I know it's complicated, but I think it's going to be cool when you do it. So click and hold. Click and hold the mouse button down and drag out. And you see there's an arc that appeared. Now when you let go, it should draw that arc, right? So now the arc is there and your pen is kind of still visible, right? Now, click again. Now double click on that square. You with me? So click near the center of the first circle, click the center of where those crosshairs met. When you drag that arc out, it's going to make the pen go somewhere else. Don't worry about that. Click there to make a little spot, then double click. So now you've ended the line. I told you this is a little more complicated than the other one, but stay with me because it's going to be cool. Now you want to go back and click that red square and drag it near that center point. But kind of keep that arc shape. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle. We're just kind of playing with it. So that's what you want. You made a little extra square. Now you click that square and drag it back in, keeping that curved shape. All right. So now you can click off of it now. So now you have a shape and you have a circle. All right. So what I need you to do now is now click the circle, shift, click the shape. Click the circle, shift, and click the shape. So now both of them are selected. Now you want to go to Format, Shapes and Lines, make motion path from shape. Now click that drawn arc that you drew. And the circle will appear in the center of that line. Right? That's how you know you did it right. Now you can click off of it. And as you notice here in your build order palette, the circle move is automatically there. So we drew a shape arc with the pen tool. You got to click a little bit off the center and get a little extra square. Move the square back. You select the pen drawn shape and the circle. Then you go to Format, Shapes and Lines, make motion path from a shape. Then you click the drawn line, right? Now, one more little thing you have to do. We're done with that part now. One more little thing you have to do though. Click that line, go to Format and Style, and make sure the line has no stroke. Because you don't want that line to show up as part of your animation. You can go to your build order and actually preview that animation. And you'll see it swings in on an arc. Some people might think that's way too much work for one curve, but you learn something new, right? Learn something new today. So that is the arc coming in, right? So now we're good. So now what we're about to do is do the other little parts. The most complicated thing is done now. Now we just got to do the other stuff that we did before, right? So let's move this thing out of the way. We'll use it again later. So now we need to do, the bottom bar and the text. Then we're done. All right. So now let's do shape, rectangle. We're going to drag that bottom bar in, drag it up. You know what? Let's do green this time. We did blue last time. Let's do green. Yes, that's a lot of work for one curve, but it's cool because now you know how to animate other stuff on any kind of path that you draw, right? You basically draw the path with the pen tool, select the item and the path, go to Format, Shapes and Lines, make animation movement on the path, click that path. So you can draw all kinds of stuff and make things move on it. I just showed you a arc this time, but you can do any kind of path. So I kind of did the wax on, wax off with you, right? Now that you have that, you can do it for real karate. All right, so now we're going to, let's do 2 text boxes. So the bottom text box is for your point. My great point. Yes, please spell that right for me. And we're gonna, let's make that 124 just to kick it up a notch. All right. So this part right here is the same stuff as last time, you know, so I'm not gonna over design it and make it look too pretty and stuff. All right. So that's the migrate point, and I'll select that and the bar and group them. Now here's what's a little different this time. We really can't group the number with the circle. We can, but it was gonna rotate too, and that's just too much math and too much brain power to put the number in the right angle, so when it rotates in straight. I didn't even attempt to do it. If I took enough time, I could, but I don't think that's worth the trouble, right? So I'm just gonna make this 250. Oh, maybe I need to put some text in it. Let's try that. We'll just put a number 2 this time. I'm not gonna overcomplicate putting the number and all that kind of stuff. All right, so we have our number for our point. We have our point in the box, right? So now let's put all the stuff together. So the first thing that's going to happen is the circle is going to arc itself in, and then we're going to make the number show up, right? So let's kind of roughly place the number, and then let's preview the other animation to see if it, okay, yep. The number's in a good spot. So we've kind of put the number there, and we want the number to come in with the arcing animation, right? So we have the number clicked. We're going to go to animate. We're going to go build in, and we're going to dissolve it in, but we're going to put start with number 1, and we're going to put a little delay on it. I think 0.6, and let's see when it shows up in comparison. Yep, I think that's good. What do y'all think? I think it's good. I think the animation can be a little quicker though. Let's do the dissolve a little quicker. 8. There we go. See how that works now? Okay, so now let's do the circular running lights around it. That's why we have our nifty center point, right? Because it's not there yet. We're going to snap our animated arc to that spot. So if we animate again, we'll see that it's in the right spot. Bam, right? But we will now want to make sure that that circle is on top. So make sure your animated line is on top. Let's preview one more time. See how it lines up? Close enough. Right? So now we're going to have the chasing light fade in and then do rotations, right? So we're going to have the circle light come in with a dissolve also. So we have it clicked, build in, dissolve. But we're going to put a quick dissolve on it. Fast dissolve. We want it to kind of get in there quick. So fast dissolve after number 2. So let's watch that. Pretty good. All right, so now that the circle is there, we're going to have it rotate, right? Like it did before for the color chase. So now that it's there, we still have it clicked. We want to go to animate action, add an effect, rotate, no angle. Remember, because we want to stop at a weird angle. We're going to do it. Well, yeah, let's do 4 seconds. That's a little long, but let's do 4 seconds. 4 seconds, 4 rotations. And we're going to have it do it after build number 3. So let's preview that. Come in, rotate. Arc comes in, number fades in, color chasing light fades in quickly and starts to rotate. Now, what y'all might not have noticed is that I did my color fill on the line chasing or color chasing line. One of those colors is the same color as my circle. That's a little ninja magic for that, right? Because you want to kind of fade in and start to rotate as if that line appeared out of the circle. You don't want your color chasing light to have 2 very distinct colors from your circle. I guess you could. I just wouldn't. That's just my opinion. All right. So now, circle comes in, number comes in, color comes in, color rotates. Then we're going to have the color go away, right? So we still have that selected. We're going to go to build out, dissolve, and let's knock that dissolve out a little slower. And we're going to have it go after 4, right? So in, number, color, color rotate, color goes away, right? So now let's have these other pieces get out of here. So now let's go to number 2, or our second point, or whatever that is. And we're going to have it dissolve out. So make sure you're in build out, dissolve, and we're going to have it get out of here pretty quick. Yeah, have it get out of there pretty quick. Dissolve after 5. And then we're going to start having the circle get out of here and the action of the other circle come in. So now we're about to wrap the thing up. All right. So now we're going to go to the top circle. All right. So we're going to go build out, add an effect, and move. Right. That's to move out. And we'll fix that animation for that one. All right. So move out, then the other one will move in at the same time. Let's click the bottom bar and slide it off the screen. Now we're going to go to Action, Animate, Move. And we're going to move it onto the screen. All right. Then we're going to do the last action. We're going to add an action and move again and move it off the screen. So that's all the animations now, right? So number 2 moved out. And now we're going to have the circle move out with that, which is the second move, right? Gonna let it take 1 second. We're going to move it bottom to top, no bounce. And we'll move it with number 6. Then the bottom one, we'll have it move in with 6. Then the last one, we'll have it move in after 8. Move in, move out. Yeah, after 8, after a delay of 3 seconds. All right, so now let's watch everything. Move in, animate circle, fade, move out, move up, and move down. All right, let's watch it one more time. All right, so that's the second one. A lot more complication in just getting that arc, but essentially what I wanted to show you is how to move things on a path, right? But that's just a simple arcing path to move your shape on. But now let's export this one. Click off of everything, click the slide, format, no fill. Now, actually, this time, both animations will be here unless you do this, all right? So File, Export, Movie, Slides from 2 to 2. 0, 0, Custom, 1920. Tab it to get the other dimension. Apple ProRes. Now, remember this, when you have multiple slides as you're building out these animations, I would suggest that you do each of these animations as a different movie. So you can play them as an overlay when you want to. But to do that, you also need to make sure when you export whatever slide that is, that here you select from that same slide to same slide, right? So if I was on number 3, I'd have 3 to 3. If I want to do that first one again and only the first one, I'd do 1 to 1. All right. So next. And now we're going to go back to Ecamm and we're going to look at our new creation with the arc coming in. So my wonderful point 2 is, then I talk about it and bam, bam, good to go. And let's play it one more time. So my great second point is, y'all need to come back to my next class, check out some more stuff, right? So yeah, come back and see me next time. That's the second great point. Hey, thank you for watching today's tutorial. If you're new here, please click the subscribe button and the bell so you will be alerted whenever I upload a new video. Please leave your comments and questions because I'm always here on the page seeing what you have to say. And maybe one of your questions or comments may be the topic of one of my upcoming videos. Now, if you want to get a little head start on making your own graphics, drop by my Gumroad page. I have plenty of products there to give you a jump start and get you ahead of the game in making your videos better. Until next time, I am Bradley Benson, Alana's Pawpaw. Be blessed, be free. See y'all soon.